Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Each episode, you'll dive into conversations with top entrepreneurs, visionaries, and business leaders, unlocking the secrets to building profitable relationships that drive growth and success. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Coming to you live from three different places, Fort Lauderdale, Kansas City, and Key West.
Yep.
So Ken Hardison, it's been a while since I've been wanting you on the podcast. Kevin Daisy put us in contact, and I've been to PILMMA a few times. So really happy that you're on, and really wanted to get your story about how you even started PILMMA, because I know you were a PI attorney. So give me a 2-minute breakdown of how you got where you got. I know it's 2 minutes, but
okay. I broke off from my firm in '96 and started a PI firm only, and went out and borrowed $500,000 off of everything I had, my firstborn child, everything, and I was very lucky, I guess, that we were able to go from 2 lawyers and 3 staff to 13 lawyers and like 57 staff in about 5 years. And so during that time, I got an invite from a lawyer to go to an event. They didn't call it a mastermind, but they called it to get together and share what's working and not working in marketing management. And it was like $2,000. And I rushed and got my check and set the deal in. And about 2 weeks later, I got my airfare and all this stuff. I don't even remember where it was at. I think it was Philadelphia. And got this letter saying, hey, you can't be in it because one of our members blackballed you and says you can't be in it. It was he was like number 1 in the market. I was like number 2 in the Raleigh-Durham market. So I got upset about it. Looking back at it now, I shouldn't have got upset about it because I do the same thing with my masterminds. No 2 people can be from the same market because you're not going to share if you are. I mean, but at the time I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I got mad and started my own little group in 2005. And I think we call it Lawyers Inner Circle. And we did that 2005, 2006. I was still practicing. I got out of cases. I was just kind of, the visionary and was real heavy into the marketing side of the firm. Not the my partner was more on the operations and I was more on the vision and marketing. But anyway, it just kept going, and then had some company hit me a cease and desist letter, said we've got this name trademark, you can't use it. I said, all you had to do is call me. I said, I can change the name. I said, ain't no big deal. So I changed the name from Lawyers Inner Circle to Personal Injury Lawyers Marketing and Management Association. And that was and then started a new corporation in 2009. I sold my law firm in 2010. I went down and I just had it and was just doing the masterminds. Now we created, now I've got 7 masterminds with about 15 to 20 lawyers in each. Law firms in each one, and we got another couple hundred members that are what we call gold members, and we put roundtables together every month for marketing management, intake training, and we put out a magazine every month. It's about a 40-50 page magazine on marketing and managing law firms, and we try to be ahead of the curve on what's going down. We put on a big event every year. This year it's going to be in Denver, April 29th through May 2nd. We'll have 400 or 500 lawyers there. We do not give CLE credits because the lawyers that come to this, they come just for one thing, learn how to grow their business. And that's kind of like our moniker. We grow law firms. Without done for you, we just teach. I do not want to get into the done for you business. I think it's fine, but I'm supposed to be retired, so I don't want to. I got about 10 employees, and that's just the way I want it. It's a lifestyle business. I get to travel a lot. We do our masterminds 3 times a year for 2 days. Like next month, I got to go down to Charleston. I'll be down there for a month. And then in July, we're going to Montreal. And then in November, we're going to Hawaii. We just got back in November, last November, from Los Cabos. Did some great fishing too. We do some fun stuff, but we do a lot of sharing. They sign non-disclosure agreements. And I kind of facilitate it. And it's just a great group of men and women that get together, and it's almost like a little mini board of directors, and they just share freely what's working, what's not working, and if they got challenges. Because really, the people in the firm don't really understand the pressure on you at the top, and most of the time your family doesn't realize it, to be honest with you. So it's good to get with like-minded people that understand what the hell you're going through, because there's some real great things. But owning a business, any business, is hard. I mean, it's not easy for everybody to be doing it, right?
Yeah. When what's some of the biggest challenges that you've seen sort of running a big? Would you consider PILMMA a mastermind or a conference?
Both. We do masterminds. We do a big conference. We do some mini conferences, like we just did one last year. And I usually do a second one if I see a need, and I saw a big need. I have a pretty good ear to the ground on what's going on just by dealing with, the 100+ mastermind members I got. And I think the 2 biggest challenges right now for law firms is hiring and keeping good help. Lawyers, number 1, staff, number 2. During the pandemic, it was staff too. I think it's getting a little easier. And I think with the offshore stuff, a lot of our members are going offshore. I got a guy in Miami. He's got 220 employees. Probably 150 of them are offshore. Even PILMMA, I've got 10 employees. I got 3 offshore. I got the graphic artist for my magazines from Pakistan, my video editors from Pakistan, and my website guys from Pakistan. I just got a text from one of my mastermind members, said, I need a graphic artist. Can you help me? I said, yeah. I give him 3 names of companies that will help him find offshore and get them for like $1,200 a month. That do really good work.
Yeah. So when you see like a personal injury attorney that's just starting out, what's like one of the first few action items that you would tell, the PI attorney to do in order to like start growing his firm into a sustainable and predictable business?
This is funny because every month I also do a Q&A for everybody that's a member of PILMMA, just to get on a Zoom meeting and ask me any damn thing you want to. And I had this young guy that had just really started a firm, and he said, Ken, my marketing's not good, my infrastructure's not good, I don't have any processes, I'm not getting enough cases, I don't know where to start because you got all this information, but where do I start? And I think I surprised him, and I actually wrote an article in our magazine after that because I just felt like it was something I had never really been asked pointedly. I just assumed, and you know what happens when you assume that everybody knew where to start. And I told him to because this is another big problem I see everywhere, not just in law, but everywhere, is intake. And I said, here's the deal. I mean, he was getting some leads. I said, get your intake fixed, and then go out and get your work on your marketing and your infrastructure and get your A players. I said, but the deal is, if you got to go where the low hanging fruit is. Like one time I convinced even a solo practitioner, I said, you need a dedicated intake person. He said, Ken, I only have me and 3 other people. I can't afford it. I said, you can't afford not to do it. I said, how much would it cost you to get an intake person in Alabama? He was in Alabama. He said, probably 30, 40,000. I said, what's your average fee? He said, about 12,000. I said, I guarantee you this person will add at least 1, if not 3 cases more a month. So they're going to pay for themselves probably in 1 month. And then you're going to make another $300,000 or $400,000. And I finally convinced, after about 3 months, I was coaching him, and he finally pulled the trigger, and he said, "Damn, Ken, you were right." He said, "Unbelievable." He said, "I signed up 4 to 5 extra cases." He said, "We were terrible at doing it," and so that gave him the cash flow to go out and spend more money on marketing and then get more cases. And he's going to sign up more of them because he's got his intake fixed. And then he can go work on getting the A players because he can't afford to pay A players because you have to pay them more, right? So it's, so I always say start with intake, which people think I'm crazy, but I think that's going to create cash flow so you can do other stuff. And I used to do a lot of consulting. I don't now, to be honest with you. I'm just don't want to do it anymore. I mean, you know, I consult with my masterminds, but that's it. But I've always never mind charging a high fee because I knew I could go in there and one thing it would make them would pay for my services 10, 20, 30, 40 times. And that was intake. And what I would do, I was hire somebody to go in there and do 5 ghost calls. And never did I get out of the 5, 2, maybe one time 3 that were good. And the other one, the people just really blubbed it. I mean, just screwed it up and cost them cases. And I'd bring out my recorder and play it to them. And they would just, you know, the lawyers would just shake their head because they already told me we sign up every case we want, we sign up. I said, you don't? Yeah, we do. And then when I prove it to them, we got problems. And I had this one time with a lawyer that was spending over $2 million on that TV a year in a market. He got physically sick, went to the bathroom and threw up because he knew what the deal was. If he's missing 60% of his leads, the kind of money he's spending. I mean, he was still making money, but he was losing millions and millions and millions. And it don't matter how big or how small. I mean, that's where you start. And I had to learn it the hard way. And that's why I started PILMMA, by the way, because there was nobody to teach me because competition's not going to. And I went out and learned from other industries. I went and got coaching from other, like Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, Vern Harnish. I went and spent loads and loads of money. And it surprised me. Lawyers would say, well, your mastermind's too expensive. I said, it's not an expense. It's an investment. But they think I'm selling them, you know, and I'm not because I don't care. I've sold 2 law firms. I'm not rich, but I don't have to do this. I enjoy doing it. I get up every morning. This gives me purpose. I enjoy it. I love helping lawyers. It's like having grandchildren. You get to play with them, but you don't have to go through all the shit after they go home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to worry about stress of having to deal with employees and stuff like that and lawyers. That's why I just love it. I mean, you know, I can talk this stuff all day. I just enjoy it. I mean, as you can tell, I'm passionate about it. I just love it. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I got a selfish question for you because I want to start a mastermind for marketing agencies since we're a marketing agency and like video production.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of the same mistakes, you know, that you see with attorneys, I see with marketing agencies and video production companies and stuff. And, you know, if you were going to start another mastermind, how would you go about starting it?
Well, I think the first thing is you've got to have a group of people. And if you know a lot of people, then you get them together and say, let's try this. And don't charge a load and just see if they like it. And then, you know, that's the way I started mine. I got together. I mean, when I first did it, I just covered the expenses of a hotel and everything. And we got together. And then, you know, over 15 years, I've gone up and I've added a lot of features. Like we do a lot more than just masterminds. I hire really smart people to come in and train them and train their COOs on Zoom, you know, and do a lot more than just go and meet 3 times a year. We do a lot of trainings. We do a lot of coaching. And we got our magazine. We got all these roundtables. You know, so it kind of grew into something big, and we're getting ready to launch something else. But I'm going to keep it quiet right now because a lot of competition right now. When I started this, I was like the first one ever. But now there's a lot of coaches and there's a lot of masterminds out there and master classes or whatever. And that's fine. I mean, my wife gets upset about it, but I said, listen, I had to deal with this when I had my law firm. I would go out and do something, and somebody copy it. I said, it's flattery. I mean, that's the way it is. You just got to stay ahead. That's why you always got to be thinking about what's around the corner, what's involved. Like I think right now, AI's around the corner. I mean, that and get good people, that's the two big challenges. And the deal is using AI smart, not because it's not because there's so much junk out there right now that you got to really, you don't know where to go. It's like what's good, what's not good. We even created a cheat sheet for our members on the ones that we've tested for marketing and for management. And because for every one great one, there's probably about 25 bad ones that do the same thing. But we kind of did it, and dealing with the masterminds, I get feedback. This really works good. This sucks. So that puts me in a unique position to kind of know what's going down. I wish I could say I was just smart just to know it, but it's just I got a big network, and and they talk, and they tell me what's good and what's bad. That's a good thing.
Tell me a story about somebody that you guys that came in, didn't really know much, and you just saw him or her take their law firm to a really good place and sustainable, profitable.
We got so many stories, Armando, but Matt Dubin from Seattle, he joined us in 2013, and he was a solo practitioner with one paralegal. He's doing $300,000 a year. He did 16 million last year, and he's been in my mastermind since 2016. He joined PILMMA in 2013, and then he said, "Well, I'm small." He said, "I don't think I belong in a mastermind." I said, "How do you think everybody else gets started?" Everybody got started at the bottom. I mean, unless they got a silver spoon. I said, unless they got it from daddy. I said, no. I said, we all started. I said, I started with $2,500. I started my first law firm with $2,500 in 1982. So, and then, so that's a great one. He's still with us. We're meeting next week. I actually talked to him today. Then there are like Justin Lovely. I mean, he was just him and his wife were in a one-room office with a desk sharing it. And now he's got probably 10 lawyers, and he's just killing it. I don't even know what he has to be doing over 10 million because he's in my 8-figure group. So yeah, I mean, we got a guy from Miami I was talking about. It's just him and his wife 10 years ago they started. He joined PILMMA about 8 years ago, and they got 220 employees now. I mean, he does 9 figures. We got, and when we got some other ones, I mean, you got some that just started. Like I had one guy that started, 2 lawyers that were defense lawyers. They started about 4 years ago. I just talked to them yesterday. They did 7 million last year, expect to do 10 million this year. And he, oh, this is not me, it was him. He said, no, a lot of you. I said, well, we give you the knowledge, but you have to do it, son. I mean, that's the deal. It's you. I mean, we just get you there quicker. I mean, I think everybody can get there, but we're the shortcut. We keep you from telling you what not to do. Save you a bunch of money, because that's how I wasted so much money when I was building my firm, because I'd try new things. I didn't have nobody to bounce it off of, so I'd go out there and try it. Might spend $50,000, try it. It worked great, but if it didn't, I just have to tweak it or either dump it and try something else. But with the masterminds, you can say, I'm thinking about doing this. Have y'all ever do it? Well, yeah, I have. It sucks. It don't work. Or yeah, I have. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's the key to a mastermind. You can save so much time and money, instead of trying to, you can figure it out yourself. I mean, you're a lawyer, you're smart. You ain't a dumbass. You didn't pass the bar because you were stupid. I mean, the deal is, but you just get there so much quicker, and it's so much cheaper. That's why I say the money you pay to be in a mastermind. It's like Justin Levy told me. He said, when I first joined, I thought that's a lot of money. I said, man, if that's holding you back, he said, you're crazy. He said, I've made that 100 zillion times more, you know. And but I'm still in masterminds. I've been in them since '96 with Dad Kennedy. I started in one of his masterminds and have still in one now with other people that do what I do for different, uh, like doctors, dentists, musicians, uh, different verticals. And so we just meet twice a year. It's just a group of us that used to be in Dan Kennedy's, and but we just meet twice a year. We meet, once up in Myrtle Beach, and we meet down in Fort Lauderdale, actually.
Nice.
But it's just good to share what's working, what's not working. It's funny how a lot of stuff, you can take what's working in one industry and bring it over to another one. I mean, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But yeah. But I mean, I think that's what if you got a good network, just get them together, man. Just get them together and just get them together and see how it works. I think the big deal, I've been in a lot of different masterminds. I think the best ones, and I wrote a book about it called The Mastermind Effect, about what makes a great mastermind, and I'll send you one free, or anybody else that wants one, to Ken@PILMMA.org. I mean, I got no problem. But I like the ones where the facilitator is not the main attraction. What I'm saying is, I've been in them where the facilitator wanted to hear self-talk the whole time. And just really, I said, if I wanted that, I would have hired you as a consultant. That's not, I want to get everybody. So my job as a facilitator is to keep it moving, not let somebody hog the floor, and to pull stuff out of people that are very quiet and that's very quiet, and to make sure everybody's got their say-so, and make sure everybody can give their 2 cents worth. And then I come in the back end if I think that they missed something and say, well, have you thought of this or this, or this is what. But I try not to make it the Ken Hardison show. And I think that helps it, because and that takes you to having a good check on your ego, because most lawyers, let's be honest, they got big ass egos. I mean, especially PI lawyers. You got to be a trial lawyer.
Sure.
But maybe that's why I want a great trial lawyer. I hired great trial lawyers, but I think I always give myself a B plus. But I thought I was a plus business person. But I hired lawyers that were a lot better than I was at getting verdicts and getting good settlements.
Way to do it.
But so maybe that's why my ego's not so big. But I've been in some where the egos were so big, and I mean, it's okay, but I don't think you get out of it what you should. I think the facilitator's job is very important, and I'm very picky about who I let in. You have to do an application, and sometimes I tell people, you're not ready for it. You need to go do this and this, and then you need to use this cash. I'm going to give you some free advice and go do this. Come back 6 months a year, and then we'll put you in. But I'll interview every one of them too, and they say, "Why do you interview me? I've got the money." I said, "I got this no asshole rule." And I said, I'm not having assholes in my groups, and I want to personally vet you to see, and I've kicked some people out before. I hate it. I'm not trying to be hard, but I mean, I just want to run a clean, good deal that's good for everybody, not just one person's ego. Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think? What hold people back from making decisions that could really impact them for the better?
Oh, I call it analysis paralysis. And I think sometimes lawyers are the worst because we are taught in law school to look for the worst side of anything. Okay, we are. Our job is to kind of protect people from making mistakes and what could go wrong instead of what could go right. Dan Kenny used to tell me, he said, I'd have made a hell of a lot more money if it had been for you lawyers. He said, just to get in the way of everything, But our job, so I think sometimes lawyers, and being a lawyer is very analytical, right? So you want to analyze everything. I actually created this thing, and I really hadn't given it out that much. It was a thing where you give points, and you like 1 to 5 points, and then if you get a certain amount of points, then you need to go do it. You know, and if you kind of hear, you kind of iffy, and if it's below that, then don't do whatever you're thinking about doing. You know, like, is it easy to do? You know, what's the downside? What's your risk? Everything's about risk. But yeah, I know a couple lawyers, and I've told them, I actually sent them. I sent one of them a book about it. You know, it's, people want your staff, your lawyers, everybody. They want you to make a decision, even if it's wrong, because they'll forgive you, man. But that's where I think not making decisions worse than making a bad decision, because at least you're getting there. You know what don't work. Uh, I just never had that problem. If any problem, I make a decision too quick sometimes. To be honest with you, because I look at the downside. If it's, you know, if I'm not going to lose the farm, you know, I'm going to probably try it. But I will say this: the older you get, the more you become more risk adverse. What I'm saying is, because you ain't got but so much time to make it back. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs, and I'm one of them, will go like this. They'll hit some highs, they'll hit some peak lows, and because they're willing to take big risks, right? And sometimes it don't pan out. I mean, I've done very well with the law industry, but I've been in other businesses that went flat. I could tell you 3 or 4 of them. I don't really want to because I'm embarrassed. But what that taught me is you got to do what you know. I've been in the golf ball business. I've been in the bar business. I've been in what was it? Hangover drug business. I lost money in every one of them. Okay. PILMMA, my law firms. I own the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury. I made money with those because I know it. I love it. And that's what I preach to all my children and my stepchildren is find something you got a passion for, and I'll figure out how to make money at it. But the deal is, if you get up in the morning, you don't look forward to going to work or doing what you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your employer a disservice. Because there's so many damn ways to make money in the United States of America. No matter what anybody says, but you got to have the passion, you know, and you got to look forward to it. I mean, and I really believe that. I mean, I really do. I mean, if you hate trying cases, don't try cases. Do what I did. Hire you a damn Cracker Jack trial lawyer and go do what you do. I love the marketing. I love talking to clients. You know, I love strategic planning. What are we going to do? How are we going to get more cases next year? How are we going to do this? How are we going to get our profits margin better? That's the kind of stuff I love, you know. I mean, and I love the clients and I love negotiating, but I really didn't love trying cases, you know. And but you know what? I tried 150 of them, jury trials over my life. I wasn't scared to do it. I just didn't like to do it. I mean, you know, and I felt like, you know, John Morgan told me something, and I went down there too when I left the firm I was with and went to go borrow the money. We spent 3 or 4 days with him, just shadowed him. This is when he had about 25 lawyers. And he told me, he said, here's the deal, Ken. You got to be referable. I said, well, what does that mean? He says, if your mother got in a wreck and her leg got cut off, would you hire your law firm? I said, right now, no. He said, well, you got a problem. He said, if you want referrals from other lawyers, you got to be referable. That I've never forgot that. How long has that been? That's been what, 30, 40 years ago? I've never forgot it. You know, so I made it, you know, I wanted to have at least one, if not 2 lawyers in my firm that if my mother got in a wreck, cut her leg off, I would be proud for them guys to represent her. But that wouldn't be me. You know,
that's a really good gem to think about. Like, yeah, are you a referable business?
Right.
And what does that mean to be referable? Like, you know, do you guys have your shit together?
Yeah.
To make sure that,
I mean,
like,
yeah. I mean, I do calls with my mastermind members, you know, occasionally, and I was talking to one, and probably half of his business comes from referrals from other lawyers who don't like to try cases, and they kill it. Their average case is over 6 figures that they get, settlement or trial. They get. So he told me what their average fee was, and we were talking about it. He said, but I'm afraid that, it cuts off one day. What am I going to do? I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's another thing that one of my mentors told me. He said, one is a bad number. You don't ever want one source of leads, and Mike Morris talks about it in his book, Fireproof. I mean, he was clearly just getting all his cases from one law firm that was a big TV advertiser. And then the guy come in one day and said, nope, we're through referred. No warning, nothing. He went, from 100 cases to 10 cases that he was getting on his own.
Damn.
I mean, and I don't know that's the right number, but I'm just saying it was that. He lost 90% of his business. And so he had to regroup. And he's done very well. He's done very, very well. But that just goes to show you don't need to have one of anything. I mean, when I was practicing, I had 32 ways of marketing my law firm. Some of them cost zero. And TV was costing me over $1 million a year. And this was in, 98, 2000, 2005. I wasn't the number 2 spender in Raleigh. And James Scott Farron, who is still the number 1 spender, was the number 1 spender. But yeah, it was, it's been an interesting ride, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because you said you had started other businesses. At what point did you cut your losses and were like, all right, I'm done with the project, right? Because you're a driven guy, right? And you're like, I'll just, I know how business is. You're weathering the storm. How did you know when to bail?
Well, the first one I lost on, I didn't know when to bail. I got like $350,000 into it. And my people there were still begging me to keep going, and I just didn't see it ever pulling back out. I just didn't see it. We did not have the right team. We didn't have the right processes, and I didn't understand it fully enough to figure it out. And I was just through with it. And I was making money doing the law business, so why do I want to go there and waste my time? Go pick these efforts and put them on something I know I can make money. But it's hard. I mean, like last year, I had like 3 or 4 side businesses, and I told everybody I had partners in all of them. I said, just telling you, this was in 2020, first of 2023. I said, if these things don't turn around by the end of the year, and I'll do anything I can to help it, I'm out. I'm out. I'm through. I mean, I'm not putting any more money in. I'm not wasting my time. We can just fold it up, or you can buy me, or I can buy you out. And if I buy you out, I'm going to close it down. But I'm just, whatever. And we had 3 of them, and 2 of them I closed it down. I mean, one of them didn't make and we're still doing it, and it's doing okay. But it's got to do with law, right? So that tells you, it's probably got a lot to do with my passion too. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got me analyzing myself.
Yeah, no, I always like asking those questions.
Stick with what you know, man.
Yeah.
Stick with what you know. I mean, I learned it the hard way. So many lawyers won't own a bar. For some reason, all lawyers won't own a bar for some reason. I've done that. And I actually made money at it to start with. And then 2008 came, and we owned a deal where the golfers came down to. I'm not going to exactly say exactly what it was, but we had a big golfing venue clientele, and the golfers quit coming to Myrtle Beach because the housing market just went to hell. I mean, everybody was losing money. All the banks were folding up. We had the big bubble burst, and and I sold it. I sold out my share. I told them, I said, I'm through. I said, but it was a good ride. I had it for 11 years. It was a good ride, but it was, I wanted to focus on the law firm, and I really didn't have much to do with that, to be honest with you. I was just like a solid investor, but I thought it was time to move on to something else. So I sold out I owned a third of it. I sold out my shares. Yeah.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you being on the show. I always love hearing from sage advice, people that have been there, done that, and have the scars to prove it?
I got them. Listen, I tell lawyers, I've done everything a man can do to screw up. I made every mistake a man can make, and that's why you need to come see, because I save you a lot of money. Yeah. But and I have, but I mean, I made a lot of money too. But yeah, there's that's how you learn. I don't call them failures. I call them learning experiences. Some of them are just a lot more expensive than other learning experiences.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I don't like.
Ken,
I don't like the word failure.
I heard that. Ken, where do they find you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, it's just info@PILMMA.org, and somebody will get with you. Yeah, I mean, info@PILMMA.org, PILMMA.org. And yeah, and we if you've never been to the PILMMA Summit and you want to know more about it, everything that I do, by the way, too, I like this because I wish all that people could do it. I know some of them that are doing done for you can't do it. But like every membership I got, every conference I hold, I have a money back guarantee. If you don't, my deal is, if we're not giving you great value, then if you don't think we're worth it, then I don't want your money. In 15 years, no masterminds ever asked for the money back. In 15 years, nobody's asked for the conference money back. I have had about 2% of gold members ask for the money back. But that's okay. But and I gladly give it to them, and I don't even, and they always say, it's great stuff, Ken. I just don't have time. And this is when I say my deal, which I got told a long time ago. No, it's not important enough for you to make time, because we make time important. And I get this used on me. My wife hears me saying that sometimes, and then she says, "Well, I don't want you to do this." I said, "I don't have time." She said, "Oh, yes, you do. You told me that. It's not important enough to you." I said, "Well, you're exactly right. It's not important enough to me. That's right. Or I'm not hurting enough, That's the truth. Think about it. I'm right. I mean, people find time. There's 24 hours in the day. Why are some people killing it? Some people aren't. That's right.
That's what they're doing, right? You're right.
Right. Or not doing.
I've been to PILMMA. I really enjoy the conference for sure. To be clear, you have to be a personal injury attorney to come, or do other attorneys in other practices come too?
Other ones come. I'd say 90% of them are PI or workers' comp or disability lawyers, contingency based. But we have some employment lawyers come. Occasionally we'll have a domestic or a criminal lawyer come. And we got some members that do criminal and PI, and we got some that do domestic. And so we've got some members that are actually doing that. But PI is their main focus. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, we are geared more towards contingency-based firms. I'm not gonna lie, but marketing is marketing, man. I mean, really, management's management. I mean, you hire, core value. I mean, the whole deal. I mean, it's answering the question, why should you hire me over everybody else? If you can't answer that question, then you got a problem. If you don't stand out, what is it? The purple cow, the golden, or whatever.
Yeah.
I tell lawyers, that's the first thing you got to figure out is, when they call you, they got two questions. Do I need a lawyer? And if I do need a lawyer, why should I choose you? And all these lawyers I see on billboards, TV, radio, Facebook, Instagram, and if you don't have the answer for that very clearly, you got a problem. Mine used to be because I gave a 30-day money client satisfaction guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied with the way we treat you in your case for 30 days, come get the file. No fees, no costs, no questions. I did that the last 7 years I practiced, and using this same amount of money, just changed the message. Our cases went up 23%. In 7 years, I had 2 people come get their files. But you gotta produce in those first 30 days. And I got like 2 bar complaints from lawyers saying he's guaranteeing. I said, I ain't guaranteeing no results. In fact, when I say I used to do a TV commercial that said, no lawyer can guarantee results, and neither can we, but we can, and we do guarantee you that if you're not completely satisfied with the way we treat you in your case for the first 30 days, you can come get your file, no cost, no fees. That's our 100% client satisfaction guarantee.
Yeah.
And that was that helped on intake too, because some people will be on the ledge. Let me talk to my husband. I said, well, just go ahead and hire us, and if you don't like it, you got 30 days to fire us. You know, what's the thing? But we need to get started, because insurance companies already got started, I can promise you. So that was a good, I call it a risk reversal. It really worked. All the lawyers, I've still got a few members that'll do it, but most of them are scared of it because they're scared somebody's going to come get the file, but they can come get it anyway.
Sure.
A lawyer's contract is the only contract in the world that's not a contract, retainer.
They can ask for their money back. Yeah. Any business. Sure.
Yeah. So, well, it's just that you're only entitled to quantum merit. So how much time you spend on file the first 30 days? You might be entitled to $300 or $400. So I really won't give it away to farm, but
right.
A lot of clients didn't know it, but that's the truth.
There you go. Sage advice from Ken. Well, Ken, much appreciated. Thank you for taking your time out from your beautiful home in Key West, hanging out.
Yeah, renting this 1890 circa conch house here on Truman Avenue. It's been a blast. I'm leaving and going back home tomorrow, but it's been a blast, and it's been warm. Looks like the weather that you're having in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was like, "Oh, it looks like a green screen," but no, it's not. It is. I'm actually right here.
Yeah.
All right, Ken. Well, I appreciate it. That was Partnership for Profit, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.